We did a video on how to do the novice linear progression for men, and I outlined like this what you would do over the course of 4 weeks, how much weight to add, which lifts to do, how many reps, how many sets, and a few of you have asked for a version of that for women. So the same principles apply. It's just stress, recovery, adaptation. Some women you can train just like men, just primarily sets of 5. They're athletic, they respond well to sets of 5. Most women will respond better to sets of 3 as time goes on. So let's take a look at this example. This gal is 5'2". Let's say she's 40 years old, and she comes into the gym weighing 125 pounds. So on day 1, I expect her squat to be somewhere around 55 pounds. And just as a reminder, we're not trying to set any records on day 1. We're just trying to set a baseline for where we can progress from, and we're trying to teach the movement patterns. So 3 sets of 5 at 55 pounds. And then for day 1, we like to teach the press because the press is more complicated. The bench is pretty easy to learn. So we teach the press on day 1, and we'll probably have her use just the empty women's bar at 33 pounds, and maybe have her warm up with a 22-pound bar with a couple of sets in between. For the deadlift, she'll pull 1 set of 5 at 105. Now note that you'll need full-size plates that are less than 45 pounds to accomplish this and have the barbell at the right height. You don't want to take the smaller 25s and have the gal pull off the floor because that'll change the movement pattern and the height of her hips and the entire lift. On Wednesday, she'll come into the gym and she'll squat again, 3 sets of 5 at 60 pounds. Since she pressed on Monday, she will bench on Wednesday, 3 sets of 5 at 50 pounds. Although the starting strength novice linear progression, the standard is to add 5 pounds to each lift, we're actually going to do a 10-pound jump on her deadlift because 105 was quite easy and we were just trying to teach her the movement pattern. So we'll do 1 10-pound jump on the deadlift. Keep in mind, this is totally illustrative. It's going to vary person by person. On the squat, go up 5 pounds. The squat is a really simple one. 3 sets of 5 at 65 pounds. Press will go up 5 pounds. It was a 33-pound bar, so add 2.5 on each side. That's 38 pounds. So 3 sets of 5 at 38 pounds. And then deadlift, we'll move to 5-pound jumps on the deadlift. So 1 set of 5 at 120 pounds. So she's almost deadlifting her body weight by the end of week 1. For day 4, on Monday, she comes back into the gym, first day of week 2, 3 sets of 5 at 70 pounds on the squat. She benches because on Friday she pressed. So it's a 5-pound jump on the bench, 3 sets of 5 at 55 pounds. And the deadlift is another 5-pound jump from Friday, 1 set of 5 at 125 pounds. 48 hours later, Wednesday, she comes in. She adds 5 pounds to the squat, 3 sets of 5 at 75 pounds. She benched on Monday, so she will press on Friday. Roughly a 5-pound jump. We'll go from 38 to 42. It's a good idea to have micro plates, especially when you're training women, because they will need to make jumps smaller than 5 pounds very soon into their training progression. On the deadlift, 1 set of 5 at 130 pounds, so another 5-pound jump. Friday comes around, another 5-pound jump on the squat, 3 sets of 5 at 80 pounds. The bench goes up another 5 pounds, 3 sets of 5 at 60. And the deadlift, 1 set of 5 at 135. So by the end of the second week, this gal that's only 5'2" is deadlifting a full plate on each side, 135 pounds. And I'm just mentioning this because this happens quite a bit, not just for women, for men and women. Let's just say this gal who's 40 decided that, okay, I'm gonna get fit and I'm gonna start the strength training program and I'm also gonna start a low carb diet. So she comes in week 2 and she's actually lost a pound and her weight, she's struggling more than she needs to be. So that's a really good aha moment because then we talk to her about the necessity of carbohydrates for a strength training program. We get her back on track with her diet and let her know that her body composition is going to change. And we talk about how dense and heavy muscle is and her waist might shrink and her body fat percentage might go down, but her body weight might actually stay the same or even go up, which is a challenging conversation to have with lots of people, especially women. But it's one that needs to be had because gaining lean muscular body mass is the point of what we're doing here. That's what gives you the shape, it's what gives you the functionality, it gives you all the benefits of being strong. Week 3 comes around. 3 sets of 5 at 85 pounds on the squat. So just add 5 pounds, like I said. Since she benched on Friday, she will press on Monday, 3 sets of 5 at 45 pounds on the press. So that's roughly a 3-pound jump. We now have her working with the empty 45-pound bar. And then the deadlift is 1 set of 5 at 40 pounds. Since she pressed on Monday, she will bench on Wednesday. And the previous bench workout was 3 sets of 5 at 60. So she'll go up 5 pounds, 3 sets of 5 at 65 pounds. Another 5-pound jump on the deadlift. Friday rolls around, add 5 pounds to the squat, add 2.5 pounds to the press. Now we have the empty standard barbell, 45 pounds, plus 1.25 pound micro plates on each side. So 47.5 pounds. Introduce 2.5 pound jumps on women's upper body movements early. Otherwise, they will plateau very quickly, and it's your job as a coach to make them continue to make progress as quickly as possible for as long as possible. Week 4 rolls around. 3 sets of 5 at 100 pounds, another 5-pound jump on the squat. Since she pressed on Friday, she will bench on Monday, and we're now moving the bench press to 2.5-pound jumps. So I have her doing this in week 4. It's going to totally vary woman by woman, and the idea is that you want to keep an eye on bar speed and move the person to the next stage in the progression before they fail at the current stage. In this gym, all the franchise gyms, we attempt to ensure that our members are always making progress and are always succeeding, and a failure is a rare thing and something we try to avoid. 3 sets of 5 to 65.5 on the bench, and then the deadlift goes up 5 pounds, but note this other point. Women, as I mentioned, most women end up responding better to 3s than they do to 5s. So we'll move most women to 2 sets of 3 on the deadlift instead of 1 set of 5. And when that actually happens just varies on the woman, and some women will just stick with sets of 5. Again, it's your discretion as a coach or as a trainee coaching yourself to determine when that's appropriate. So 2 sets of 3 at 155 on the deadlift, and then the squat goes up another 5 pounds, 3 sets of 5 at 105 on Wednesday, the second workout in the 4th week. Since the bench took place on Monday, Wednesday will be a press, and 47.5 pounds was the last press workout, so another 2.5-pound jump. The press will move to 5 sets of 3 for most women. Once going up 2.5 pounds at 3 sets of 5 stops working, so that'll be 3s as well. And for sets of 5, you want, depends on how far along someone is in their training progression, but you want several minutes of rest, 4 or 5 minutes of rest between sets of 5. For sets of 3, you can do slightly shorter rest, so let's say 2 or 3 minutes, especially if the weight isn't objectively heavy. On the second day of the 4th week, I have rotated in another lift. This will need to happen. You'll need to have any trainee, male or female, stop deadlifting 3 days a week, because as the weight gets heavier, that becomes too taxing. So you need a light day. And for most women, for most people, we'll alternate the power clean. So it'll be just like the way the bench and the press alternate, you'll start alternating another exercise with the deadlift. So power clean is great if the orthopedic situation allows and the client's open to learning how to power clean. You can also do a lat pull down. You can do a chin or an assisted chin. There's a bunch of variations you can throw in here. But in this particular scenario, again, it's going to vary per person. We'll have the gal start deadlifting every other workout instead of every workout. And for this first alternate, she will power clean for 5 sets of 3 at, let's say, 65 pounds. The last workout of this exercise, to give you a full 4-week template, add 5 pounds to her squat. So she's at 110 pounds, 3 sets of 5. She has doubled her squat in 4 weeks. And her bench, we're now going to move her to 5 sets of 3 with a 2.5-pound jump. And for the deadlift, since it was 155 for 2 sets of 3 on Monday, we'll add 5 pounds to that, 160 pounds for 2 sets of 3 on Friday. And then her body weight is 126 pounds. Ultimately, it just comes down to bar speed and form. And as a coach, you've got to be able to manipulate the training variables in order to enable your member or your trainee to make progress over time for as long as possible. Thank you.